I would have to say Ford and I see eye to eye on a lot of issues, not on all of them by any means, but certainly much of what I do, I don't think he would find fault with. But ironically, neither do any of them find fault with what I'm doing. They can't disprove any of these facts.
They just wish you'd die.
They just wish I were not bringing them to light. That is the truth.
Maybe you could get Alzheimer's or something.
Absolutely.
Put you on the sideline. Lastly, in this Sonia lady's campaign, I did notice that she's being supported by LaCour, and I thought Ford was somewhat reluctant to make a sweetheart deal with LaCour after, what are we in, 12, 15 years of this thing called Riverwalk, whatever it is?
You're absolutely correct.
A lot of money wasted over there.
Oh, absolutely a lot of money wasted. And again, it comes back to the way we are governing ourselves. It comes back to the level of reporting that makes it to council. And what we see happening in Port Orange time and time again is decisions are made in a fragmented, disjointed, unconnected manner. We never get to see the big picture on any item we are voting on. Yeah. We just stumble along for years and years and years until we find out we've got buku dollars poorly invested. And that's where we are with Riverwalk.
And the problem is that you actually said it out loud.
Yeah. We got buku dollars invested and invested poorly is what it comes down to.
Yeah. And LaCour is trying to make money, which is his right as a private businessman.
Yes, sir, and increasingly, if I had to speculate, he's going to make his money in court. That's the only way LaCour is going to make any money in Riverwalk, is taking the city to court and getting a settlement.
I do have some good news. I think I have good news for you. I don't know if you've met Tracy, the new new finance director.
Yes, I have.
She was able to keep Mellon out of jail at EVAC. And I don't know her firsthand. I'm certainly not a finance person, but it's my intuition that she can keep them beans counted and keep the beans where they're supposed to be. So I think you might have the best finance director you've ever had. So have you had any dealings with her yet?
Not really, and certainly I share that hope as well, Big. I hope Tracy
if somebody gave you an answer that was satisfactory, that would make you feel better.
It certainly would, but now remember, it's not just an answer to me. It's a system that has to be put in place that is equal to the task. And
transparency is lacking, and administrative controls are lacking. By the way, the cop, I forgot his name. He had big arms, though. I was nice to him. Who's running in the other district, not against Ford?
Stiltner.
He seemed to talk Ford's language, that we needed to have a lot more control over the employees and things like that. And we're talking about this. It's been my experience in life dealing with a whole bunch of government workers, that the ones at the lower levels, the ones out there in the trenches, the ones actually like the terrible thing, you almost deserve this kind of a problem for stealing Christine from Holly Hill. Do you know her?
Again, just peripherally.
She is a very competent human being, and I'm sure she's upset by all these problems as well. But you stole her from Holly Hill, and she was one of the only things we had going, besides Kurt, that we had going well for us. So, but you stole her, so you should feel really bad about that.
And Big, let me give you an example, if I could.
But the low-level employees, in my opinion, who are trying to do their best, and then sometimes keeping their heads down because their boss is a jerk. And so they are painted as totally irresponsible and bad because their boss is, and they can't tell you can't tell them that the finance director's a jerk and didn't do this, this, and this, and they know that, and that affects their work and affects their livelihood and affects their psyche.
It does, and it is grossly unfair to point to any problems at mid-level and lower employees. They are rarely the problem. You know that. Anybody breathing longer than
But
5 minutes.
we should always
knows
say that because Republicans have a hard time understanding that probably 70 or 80% of the people who work for Port Orange government or any government are doing the best they can to do a good job and do an honest day's work.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
So the ones we're talking about are the higher-ups that get so egotistical, and they really get some kind of a fungus, in them that causes them to have warped thoughts and not be transparent and feel they're godlike.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. But Big, what I wanted to say, just when I say council has failed to address issues,
right.
Let me give you an example of where they really need to make a decision. And of course, making no decision is a decision.
Right.
Also, you had mentioned earlier that perhaps one of the most important person in an administration is the finance director.
Absolutely.
Now, who should the finance director be reporting to? Do you think? Do you think possibly finance? That's a position that should come up and report to council, just like the attorney does and the manager does.
Well, in our government, in the county, when I was playing government, the finance guy reported to Kelly, and of course I'm sure he whispered things to Kelly, but in general I could go talk to him about anything I wanted to, and he would, I felt as though he gave me a straight, honest answer to everything I asked him.
Yeah, and based on my reading or understanding of the recent history in Port Orange, it would certainly be my recommendation that now this new Tracy gal that we have and that we all hope is going to work so well, should she have a direct path to council? And it's my position that she should. Finance should be a department that reports directly to council. And I have been encouraging them to take this up for at least the last 8 months, and they haven't. And that, I think, is wrong. If they were to take it up, consider it, discuss it, and tell me I was full of hot air, that would be fine.
Yeah.
But why ignore it?
Well, I don't agree with you on that one. I think that she should report to the manager. But if you hire, not you, but if the city council hires another jerk to be the manager, then you've not only co-opted your city and your taxpayers, you've co-opted your, what I think is a very, very outstanding finance director, because she won't be able to live with that crap.
That is correct, and hence my reason for...
Because she'll want to be transparent.
Yes, hence my reasoning for saying let's open a path for her to council. Yeah,
well, whatever. It's a small difference, and we agree on 99%. That's close enough. You and Ford agree on... I hope you'll help him, because... this Sonia lady, I'm sure that she's a mint julep girl, and maybe we'll invite her on the radio so we get to know her.
Yeah, good.
What's she do for a living?
She's a public accountant.
Accountant. Well, how can she live with these inequities then?
Does
she understand them?
Well, I would sure think so.
Wow. How can an accountant look the other way?
That would be an excellent question to ask her, and it could well come down to motivation. What's motivating our various candidates?
Well, I think most of them are motivated by being important, and Ford is not. Ford's been more important in past life, but he's not motivated by that. I think he actually wants to see the city get better.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about it. In Port Orange,
how about the fireman? Is he halfway decent?
Yeah, I believe he's proved.
Because I had him